In this animation, I will explore the impact of sensory processing differences on gender identity from a female autistic perspective. I will use my own experience and the observations and accounts of young autistic females that I have worked with and autistic women who have shared their personal accounts and reflections. What I am about to say definitely does not apply to all autistic females, but I will explore some common presentations amongst our population. It is widely accepted that social and cultural norms can influence the experience, expression, and identification with a gender type. Social and cultural expressions can manifest in the clothes that people choose to wear, the activities that they choose to take part in, and to some extent still, the careers they pursue. But for autistic individuals with sensory processing difficulties, these choices can be influenced more by their sensory processing types than social influence or desire to fit within the traditional roles and social expectations of a specific gender. For example, many autistic individuals experience tactile sensitivity. For some individuals, this impacts on the clothes they choose to wear, which are likely to be selected for their texture, weight, and fit, which better meet their sensory needs, rather than for fashion or to fit in with the identity of a group of people or gender. Clothes that are more accepted in masculine culture tend to be heavier, softer, and looser fitting, and may be far more comfortable for females with tactile sensitivity. For some autistic females, the sensation of makeup on their face is intolerable, and some choose to have shorter hairstyles as the sensation of long hair and the sensory input of grooming hair is particularly difficult for them to tolerate. Again, these presentations are more prevalent in the male population in the UK. Another consideration relating to tactile sensitivity is that more prevalent in the female social groups is the use of tactile gestures, which serve the purpose of establishing and maintaining emotional bonds between female group members. This is less prevalent in predominantly male social groups. So for individuals with tactile sensitivity and difficulties with social touch, again, the male communication style may be seen as safer, and some female autistics may find it easier to interact in social groups where there is a predominance of males. It is also acknowledged that female social groups tend to be far more comfortable with and seek closer physical proximity than male social groups. Close proximity can be difficult for many autistic females, as the anticipatory anxiety of unexpected or social touch increases with proximity to other people. This again would lead to some autistic females feeling much safer in the presence of males than females. In addition to tactile sensitivities, the activities that we may be drawn to are likely to be more typical amongst males. Our auditory and visual sensitivities and our need for proprioceptive input, which is common amongst the autistic female population, may mean we have preferences for activities that have lower sensory demands and are more action and movement based. For example, outdoor activities and practical or sporting activities. Our sensory sensitivities mean that for many of us, we would avoid or find overwhelming, typically female activities such as shopping or going to cafes. Furthermore, the challenges we face with social interaction, and in particular the identification and expression of emotion, may again draw us towards predominantly male social groups rather than female social groups. It is acknowledged that females tend to make more eye contact during social interactions. For some autistic females, eye contact can be really intense, uncomfortable, and sometimes overwhelming. Also, it is suggested that men generally communicate to transmit information and solve problems, whereas women's interaction tends to focus on the sharing of their feelings in order to connect on an emotional level with each other. For many autistic females, we are far better at engaging in conversations that are focused and that we perceive as purposeful, such as the sharing of information or the solving of problems. You can see from these examples why a female autistic individual's preference might be more consistent with typical male presentations. For some individuals, this will be based on sensory preferences rather than gender expression or social choices, and this in turn may impact on our sense of identity, as we could easily perceive that we identify more closely with male presentations. However, this may or may not be reflective of our gender identity. Furthermore, individuals with autism may also experience interoceptive processing differences. This means that it is difficult for many individuals to perceive and interpret the signals they get from their bodies, so may not be able to sense, for example, who they are physiologically attracted towards. All of these considerations can result in confusion as to their gender identity. Individuals may find that non-binary identification fits their experience, whilst others will identify as cisgender, bigender, or transgender. Some individuals report that actually they feel freer to explore their true gender as they are less influenced by social and cultural expectations. In summary, if you are supporting individuals with autism that are experiencing difficulties with gender identity, I think it is always important to look more closely at how we experience the world and how this can influence our presentations and behaviours without making assumptions based on more generic views of gender and gender expression.